Alright, so as you've probably already gathered, today I'm going to be talking about the live action Sonic and how it looks overall, and just some of the really poor design choices that I think could have easily been fixed. I'm just basically going to be talking about what makes this thing so hideous. I've seen a lot of people saying that it's okay, and then it's either like people hate it or they're okay with it. Or I've seen people like, oh, it's actually not that bad, but I think it is that bad. I don't understand why they gave him normal shoes. I just don't think it goes well with his character design at all. In the original, he has the big clunky shoes and the clunky gloves, but then in his new design, they just replaced it with Nikes and then gave him white paws. And I feel like that's taking away a big part of his design, giving him white paws instead of the chunky gloves. They just changed too many things and it wasn't for the better, it just made it look less like Sonic. I'm not even a huge Sonic fan, I've played like one game, but he's a good boy and I like his design, and they just completely messed it up. The way they did like his little hair spikes or spines or whatever you want to call them, it's really unappealing, and I think they put way too much detail into the spines. There's too many sticking out. There's a few images of him where they're just kind of all over the place, like in some of the new leaked ones or whatever. His spines are just all over the place, and it's like lumps on his head that have little things sticking out, and it's just really ugly, whereas in the original, it was just the hair spikes, just the clumps, just the 3 hair spikes. But in this new one, it's really unappealing, and I get that they're going for the realistic approach, but I really don't think it works. Like, they could have done the hair spikes and had it just so it looked furry in texture instead of having individual hairs sticking out all over the place. One of the other prominent things that I want to talk about is the colors of the new Sonic. It could just be the lighting, but I don't know, in these new images it seems like it's just kind of generic, like not that much lighting. But here I've made a comparison of just this image of Sonic just found from a Google search. It's just Sonic. It doesn't really have any extreme lighting on it or anything. It's just his character design. Compared to the new one, the old design had a lot more contrast. They made it a really dark blue, and then the light of his skin or whatever is lighter. Like a lot lighter. There's definite contrast, but in the new one, when I made it black and white, like you can tell it's mostly mid-tones, and there's just really not that much contrast in between the colors on his body, and I really do not like the blue that they chose. It kind of looks like a toothpaste blue, and I know in my drawing in the background it's kind of a lighter blue, but I kind of fix that by adding darker tones to it. It still has contrast from the rest of the body, whereas in this, it does not look good the way this blue color goes with that skin color. It really overall, they do not complement each other. I just think it was a really poor color choice. I think a lot of it could have been fixed if they made his fur slightly darker like you saw in the original Sonic. The dark blue was a lot better suited for this, his light beige color of the rest of his fur. And then another big thing I want to mention is the eyes. I think it completely takes away the style of how Sonic is supposed to be. All the characters in Sonic have those connected eyes or whatever, and I get it's a stylized, realistic movie, but it's still not totally realistic. Like, they could have kept some stylized elements of Sonic, but they got rid of everything that made Sonic Sonic, and then you just have a light toothpaste blue hedgehog. He does not look like Sonic. Even his nose is more triangle shaped, and he has weird little nostrils on it, and that with the eyes that aren't even connected, it kind of looks like the Apple eye emoji. It just looks really generic, and they took away the stylized element of Sonic. His eyeballs are now round instead of the oval shape. I feel like it looks like something that would be in one of those commercials that you see to help old people with pain. It looks like a weird mascot. It doesn't look like a professional movie. And I get that this is just concept design stuff, but judging by these new pictures, this is not going to be a good Sonic movie. Overall, it's the bad color choice and the change of key elements to Sonic's design that really make this new Sonic a complete flop. I'm not, however, going to completely give up on this movie because those were just some random leaked design ideas, perhaps. There's still room to make improvements and changes, hopefully. Hopefully what we've seen is not how it's going to look. I think I saw another image from the Sonic movie where he was like chilling on a car or something, and it didn't look half bad. So there is still hope. I think that this movie has potential, and if major changes were made from the concepts and rough images that we saw, this movie could be successful. Please, Sega, I believe in you.